This is Sparta!
Fatality.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to YouTube episode number 13 of the UFO Buster Radio. Friday night Freakout today, because this was supposed to be on Thursday, but we had technical issues. And for those of you that were listening to the podcast last Tuesday, it ended abruptly because I have this customary one episode malfunction that I happen to happen every month. And this past Tuesday, I was really on the road too. I was really getting into the whole topic, and all of a sudden, somebody pulled the plug on me, and there it went. That was the end of the podcast. It was really strange for me, and nothing was going on. Internet was great. Everything was working fine except for the podcast. So what can you do? It was completely nuts. But today we got a special guest, and we also have Green Man, who is Tom Selleck, is back there in the green room. Green Man in the green room. And he's waiting. But before we bring Green Man on, we got to bring in our special guest, the one and only Gary Parker. What's up, Gary Parker?
Hey, Manny, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me back.
Hey, I'm doing great. And listen, I was looking back to the episode. When was it that Gary was here? It was 3 years ago, actually.
Dude,
and,
it flies by.
It does. Episode 105. We're up to like almost 500 now. So yeah, it's been some time, to be honest. But Gary, for the folks that haven't been exposed, not that anyone's exposing themselves to you, but anyone, for people that haven't been exposed to Gary Parker, tell them a little bit about your background before we get into some of the amazing stuff you have to share.
Guys, I was born and raised in Wilmington, Delaware. Went to high school there. Went to the University of Delaware. Moved out to California, Los Angeles. When I in the mid 70s, got into the real estate business, did some real estate development, and then was lucky enough to sell a few movie scripts. Sold some movie scripts, and lucky to have one movie made. It was called Thank Heaven. I think you can get it on Netflix. It's called Thank Heaven. And I've been in the Writers Guild for the past 20 years, and then ended up moving out to Phoenix, and then all this crazy stuff started happening to me. So pretty much that's the story. That's the thumbnail.
Yeah, and that is, I would say, an amazing story nonetheless, right? You know, everybody wants to go to Hollywood and sell some scripts, but you did it. But you've also got some stories that are just nuts. I mean, telling you, the first time you were here, I really was taken back by your story, but this time around, we've got some real stuff to share. So, Gary, you have a connection to a certain area of the Middle East.
Oh, you mean Egypt and
right?
And Egypt and Jerusalem. Yeah. What happened was, Manny, I had told you this last time we talked. I had come up with this great idea for world peace, only because I'm always thinking of big ideas to write movie scripts, and I said, well, how can one person help create some world peace? And my idea was to restore the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx. And when I say restore the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx, I mean just make them look better. You know, I've been to Egypt, and when you look at the Sphinx and the Great Pyramids, they're kind of falling apart. And so what I did was I decided to do a crowdfunding globally, and I needed some seed money. So what I did was I contacted Sir Richard Branson.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and also Elon Musk, and I pitched them the idea on an email, and they loved it. They said, this is a great idea. We'd love to be part of it. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to really come together. First they asked me how much I needed, and I said $20 million, but I wanted to globally crowdfund it. And they said, that won't be a problem, but you have a lot of work to do. And I said, yeah, I sure do. Well, Manny, I was so excited about getting that response from them, right, that I went to the NASA website, because I wanted to, as you know, I think I told you I did some real estate development in Los Angeles. I built a couple houses and I built an apartment complex and a couple other things. So I know what it takes to build things, but not something, on the scale of the Great Pyramid or Sphinx,
Right.
having to deal with the Antiquities Authority in
Mm-hmm.
Egypt. So what I did was, I was so excited, though, I went to the NASA website to download a photo just to see where you could put men and machinery in the Giza Plateau. So when I did, I pulled up this one photo from July 26, 2012, and I zoomed in. Most people never zoom in. As you know, the photo's taken from 200 miles above Earth by the International Space Station.
Right.
So what happens is I zoomed in on the Great Pyramid. As I zoomed in on the north side of the Great Pyramid in the sand, running east and west, I saw they look like shadows from 200 miles above. As I got closer and closer, the shadows turned into letters, like ancient Hebrew letters. So I wrote, and I said, my God, those look like letters. So I wrote them down. I took a picture with my phone, and then I sent them to a couple of Judaic scholars, Aramaic scholars, and to a couple Egyptologists. Well, they saw them, and I said, do these say anything? And one of the Judaic scholars said, yes, this is what it says. And he said, where did you find these? I said, in a NASA photo, from the International Space Station. And he said, well, send me the photos, circle it in red and show them to me. So I sent it to him. He saw them, and he emailed me back, and he goes, you photoshopped this. And I said, well, no. I said, I didn't Photoshop it. I said, you can go to the NASA website yourself and look at it. And he did. And he said, you didn't Photoshop this. So he said, look, I want to meet you. Come on. And he actually happened to be down at the University of Arizona. So I went down, I met with him, I showed him, and he said, Gary, this is impossible. I said, well, what does it say? And he says, it says, I am that I am, creator of all things.
Well,
and
there
I
you
said,
go.
Yeah. And I said, oh, my God. I said, that's amazing. And then there was another set of letters just above those, a couple miles away on the Giza Plateau. And it said, God and the Lord of the underworld. And he was freaking out. He said, Gary, look, man, he goes, I don't know who you are. I don't know how you found this. He said, but you know what? He goes, I have a reputation. I don't want to be involved in this. And I said, well, okay, what can I do? So anyway, so longer story longer, Manny, I've been doing this now for like the past 5 years, and met with many, many people, been to Egypt, met people there, met people in Jerusalem, and all this other stuff. Anyway, so with that, also, as you know, I think I told you the first time we talked, because I had found all this stuff and I thought it was wild, I said, I wonder what this means. What does all this mean? Well, one night I had a dream. And Manny, I got to tell you, like I very rarely ever dream, and I very rarely ever remember what I dreamed.
Right.
And I sleep like a rock. So what happens is I hear, this was in 2015. I have this dream, and in the dream, a voice comes to me and says, Gary, go down to the river, stand on the east side of the river, in your bare feet, put your hands up, yell up this mantra, and say these words in Hebrew. So, but when the voice told me, they were in English, and I don't speak Hebrew, so I contacted a couple rabbis here, and I asked them in Phoenix, and I asked them if they could phonetically spell it out for me, and they did. So I went down, I said these words in Hebrew, and I yelled them out really, really loud. And that night I came home. Nothing happened down at the river at all. And what happens is that night when I came home, I was asleep, but my computer was off, but it was open. I have a laptop computer, and the computer popped on, and it popped onto the NASA photo, and all of a sudden I could see things that I had never seen before. It was like almost like a collage of pictures and words and all in Hebrew and stuff. And I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "I must have made some kind of connection down at the river." And so what I'd like to do for you and your audience is, first of all, show them the NASA photo if we can pull that up, and then I'll tell them, okay, there it is right there. That's a NASA photo. And it was taken in July 26, 2012. On the right-hand side, you can see that's the Giza Plateau. And on the left-hand side is Cairo. And there's kind of a squiggly cross. I outlined everything in red. There's a squiggly cross. And the squiggly cross is actually the Nile River running north and south. And
Like
then
this area right here?
yeah, right, going down. Just put it on. No, going down, straight down. That's the Nile River. Yes. And then running east and west, going up like a loop up there and there. That's Ring Road, which is an 8-lane freeway going into Cairo. And then right here on the right-hand side is, as you see on an outline, that is L. That is his left profile. That's a huge alien head going out of frame. You can see his neck. He's got a round chin and everything like that. And L is who talked to me in my sleep and told me what to say in Hebrew. What it is that in the Torah, the Jewish Bible, it says that before God returns to earth, what he's going to do is the whole world is going to be able to see his face. And this is the photo. So what it is that's L, and he's looking, like I said, across. He's looking east to the left, and he's looking at that squiggly cross. Well, that squiggly cross represents the Cygnus constellation. If you pull up the Cygnus constellation on Wikipedia, you'll see that it's shaped just like how I have it outlined there. That's where they originate from, where L originates from. L is actually the name of the first name of God from the Canaanites. But anyway, so this was the photo. This is the person who contacted me and told me to say what I was supposed to say. Now, so if I can tell your audience how they can, can you go to the next picture to show them what L looks like close up that I drew?
Sure, I can. Okay. There you go.
This is L.
I'm working the magic for you, Gary.
You're doing a great job too, buddy.
Yeah.
That's L. Okay,
let's
that's
bring
L.
Up. Let's
he's
bring
actually
L live and personal here. Right?
Okay, that's L.
So here a second. Hold on a second, Gary, before you go any further. So when you see this and you put this sketch down and you see the outline that you have for the NASA photo, does it freak you out? Like when you first saw this, were you freaked out about it?
No, I was really excited. I was like,
were you really?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was terribly excited. I mean, because I thought that it makes sense to me. Someone whoever's going to create mankind is going to be millions and millions of years more advanced than us. And these beings are. He's actually wearing a hoshin also, which is a breastplate, which has 12 different what do they call it? Stones, gemstones and stuff on his chest. And everything that I'm going to show you and your audience is in the NASA photo. I got this from the NASA photo. Okay, so what's that?
And it's amazing. But here's the thing, and I had this same experience 3 years ago. It was like when you say that this is the creator.
Yes.
Right. It kind of brings me back to because religion, as we know it, Christianity, which says you're made in the image of the Creator, but this L doesn't look anything like I do.
Well, he has a face, he has hands. Well, the hands you can't tell in the photo. He's actually transferring human souls into apes. That's what it's not like it's fire. He's actually dealing with human souls, so it's not fire. But he actually does have a face. His head's just a little bigger than us. I think he looks a lot like us. And and actually in the photo, Jesus is in the photo, and Jesus looks a lot like him in the photo. And Jesus looks like what you've been told he looks like, but he also looks like L. He does a lot. So anyway, if you could go back to that first photo.
All right, let's go back here.
Sure.
Let's bring the NASA photo. Is this where it gets tricky? We had the same problem earlier. There you go.
There you go. Okay. Now, like I said, if you guys really want to connect with L, I'm going to tell you exactly how you do it. And you can do it if you want to. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But if a lot of people say, well, I would love to talk to an alien, or I'd love to communicate. Okay. It's very, very easy. What you have to do is you have to go to a river. It has to be a river, all right? And yes, there should be water in it. No, it doesn't always have to run.
Yeah, that's a good idea. No dry lake beds or nothing like that. It needs to have water.
There has to be water in it.
Right.
Okay. Now, what you do is you have to be in your bare feet. but you only have to be, the water only has to be up to your ankles. Not you don't have to go in deep or anything, but you have to make a connection on the earth. You can't stand on stones. So if there's stones there, move them out of the way, because there's three things you have to have. You have to have energy, you have to have vibration, you have to have frequency. And that can
Okay.
all be done with the human body, with the earth, and with the mantra I'm going to tell you guys to use. Okay, so what you do, you stand on the bank, make sure you take off all your jewelry and all that kind of stuff. Just know this, I've done this for the past 5 years, so, and it works.
Okay.
What you put your hands up, look up to the sky, don't wear sunglasses, look up to the sky. You're looking east. You always look east. Remember, everything in the Garden of Eden and everything that has to do with east is rebirth, new day. Okay, the sun rises in the east, it's a new day, rebirth. Okay, what you're going to do, you're standing on the east shore, you have your feet in the water, you're connected to the earth, and you yell out these words, and you have to do it loud. You can't whisper it. You can't, no whispering. You have to do
No,
it
you
very
can't be
loud.
embarrassed about it. You got to go out
That's
there and
right.
do it.
Now,
Just
if
do
there's
it.
and I also say, please take someone with you and have them film you with their phone. Okay,
Okay.
or if they have a camera, that's cool too.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, don't ever do it. I mean, you can do it by yourself. I do it by myself, but sometimes I love taking somebody down with me, because when they film me, sometimes things show up, and the way you can see them is on the photo. You can't see them when you're standing there most times.
Okay.
So you need the video from your phone. Okay, you stand in the water, put your hands up, and you say these Hebrew words, and you say it like this. And you, like I said, guys, you have to do it loud. Okay, it goes like this: El, 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 Kidosh, 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 Hey Nani, Hey Nani, Hey Nani. You got to do it 3 times. El, El, El. Kidosh, Kidosh, Kidosh. Hey Nani, Hey Nani, Hey Nani. Now, what that means is this. Like I said, you got to do it 3 times. You got to do it loud. Then, if you don't say anything, like I said, wait, have someone film it for you, and then go back, and then I'll explain to you how you can see it on the video if something shows up. What those words mean is this: El, El, El is God, God, God. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh means holy, holy, holy. And Hey Nani, Hey Nani, Hey Nani means here I am, take me. What all the prophets, all the ancient prophets, they would say these words, because what they were saying when he says here I am, take me, means that I'll be your messenger. I'm your boy, I'm your man. So when I first said this, and then that night I saw that in the I popped on the screen, I ran back down to the river the next morning, and I said to Elle, I said, look, man, if this is for real, and if you need me to do anything, I'll do anything you ask me to do if it's good for mankind. And if you need my help, I would love to be part of this. So since then, as you know, I've been to Jerusalem, I've been to Egypt, I've done all this stuff, but we'll get into that. But yes, so if you guys want to really talk or communicate with an alien, to open up a part of your brain, that's the first thing you do. And the water acts as a conduit in between planes. This is how the first temple in all of mankind was nature. It wasn't a built temple. It wasn't a church. It wasn't a synagogue. It was nature. And that's how they communicate. They don't communicate. I think churches and organized religion is very, very nice. But if you really want to communicate, get to a river, use nature and the human body. There you go.
So
That's
here's
the old thing.
yeah, fantastic. So here's the thing. So tell us about what your experience has been doing this, and again, and to me, going through something like that, I'd be freaked out, to be honest. But it sounds like you really gravitated to all of this.
Well, Manny, remember too, I'm telling you things that have taken me 5 years. It didn't happen overnight. It was in bits and pieces. They were like spoon feeding me, I guess, so I wasn't afraid. But I
Right.
was like extremely excited. I thought, oh my gosh, this is really happening, and it's really, really fun. Well, after I did all that, I contacted NASA. And I talked to a guy by the name of Peter Wharton, and Peter Wharton was the president of the Ames Research Center in Northern California. And you got to remember something. These are the guys that he actually is in charge of the robots that were up on Mars. Okay, the robots. Those.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what happens is I emailed him just like I emailed Sir Richard Branson and Elon Musk, and they emailed me right back the next day, which blew me away. Well, this guy, his name's General Peter Warden. I emailed him up at the Ames Research Center. He emailed me back the same day. I said, "What did you find?" And I
Oh,
told him,
really?
yeah. He said, "Well, send me the photos and send me everything." So I sent it to him, and he said, "Gary, we're going to send down. I'm going to send down a few people to talk with you." I said, "Fantastic." So NASA came down. I showed them everything, and they filmed me down at the river. And they said, "We'll get back in touch with you," and then they cut me out. So yeah,
Right.
so that happened. But I kind of expected that to happen. But what I did was last November, I met with SETI. You know, SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial
Yes.
Intelligence,
Hmm.
and I met over at UCLA. I flew out to Los Angeles, and I met with a professor who's the head of SETI at UCLA, and his name is Jean-Luc Margot, and he's a physicist. And I showed him this stuff, and I told him all you have to do is stand in the river to make the connection. And he looked at me and he goes, "Gary, I'm not going to do that." And I go, "Well, you're a scientist. Why wouldn't you do it?" He said, "Because I don't believe that's how you communicate." I said, "Well," I said, "let me ask you something, Professor." I said, "SETI has been around for almost 60 years, and you guys haven't found anything. Zero.
Yeah.
You're 0 for
Zero.
60." I said,
Nada.
I'm 1-0. I said, I said, I said, "I don't understand how you can't want to see this." And he said, "Because I'm not going to believe it." I said, "Well, do you think there's only one way an alien race or a god or a deity would communicate with human beings? Do they have to send signals that are man-made or electronic?" I said, "That makes no sense to me at all." I said, you're a professor with borders." I said, I said, "You embarrassed me." I said, "You should be embarrassed not to give this a shot." And he goes, "I'm just not going to do it. And I want you to leave right now because you've embarrassed me." So anyway, and I also went to MUFON. You know MUFON?
Yes. Move
I
on.
I
Yeah, they're
went down
famous
to
lately.
yeah. Well, I went down
They're
there
popular.
and I met with their main guy, and he saw it, and he got all choked up, and he goes, "Gary, this stuff is true, isn't it?" I go, "Well, yeah." So, longer story longer, he freaked out. He would never call me back, but I did. I drove all the way down to at Irvine. I went to Irvine in California.
Hmm.
I met with him. I sat with him for 2.5 hours. He saw everything, and he goes, "Gary, I'm freaking out right now." So,
Yeah. He's
man,
in a
yeah,
different place today, actually. But here's a question.
I heard he got fired. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. So Gary, what can you expect for those that are fortunate enough to do this and make that connection? What could they expect? Like, what was your experience like?
Well, Manny, in 2017, well, let me just say this: my experience it's always been good, and like I said, though, it all started out with me trying to come up with an idea for world peace. So if that's the nucleus, I think that is the positive vibe. So since then, I've had no other than people freaking out. Like when I went to Jerusalem, I met with rabbis. I showed them everything. I went down to the Gihon Springs. You know what the Gihon Springs is, Manny? Have you ever heard of the city of
No,
David
no, no. City of
in
David,
Jerusalem?
yes. Gihon
That's
Springs, no.
Okay, there's a thing called Hezekiah's Tunnel, and there's the only water source, original water source in Jerusalem is the Gihon Springs. It's been there for thousands of years. It's a spring that just never stops. So when I was in Jerusalem, El told me to go there. He told me to go to the Mount of Olives, to the Golden Gate, which is it's attached to the Temple Mount, and to say certain words in Hebrew in the water of the Gihon Spring, which I did, and then that night. Anyway, a lot of good things that happen. So to answer your question, yes, a lot of good things happen. So I don't want to keep going on and on. What's another question, Manny?
Well, just what was your personal experience like? What did you when you went? You did the chant. You were in the water. What was Gary's experience?
Well, what happens and I told you back 3 years ago, in 2017, I went down because you got to remember all the stuff that I found in the photo. Because in the photo, as a matter of fact, I can tell your listeners, if you want to see how to see everything in the NASA photo, go to YouTube or just Google this. Google God, how to see God The Garden of Eden and the Third Temple with Gary Parker on YouTube. That was Google how to see God, the Garden of Eden, and the Third Temple with Gary Parker. Click on that. It will go to my video and it will show you and your listeners how to see everything that I see in the NASA photo. Okay?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It is a good thing that we have this YouTube connection here because they could jump right over to it. So you go ahead and you do you get the chanting, and again, I'd be totally freaked out. But you're getting messages from Al, and he's like, "Hey, come over to my face, basically, or come over to where I'm at, or where the message is at, and come over and it's like he's bringing you there. But for what reason? What reason do you think?
Well, to cut to the end game, what's going to happen is El and his kingdom. As a matter of fact, can you go to that picture where I had a poster made of El and his kingdom? Can you go to that, Manny?
El and his kingdom. Yeah, let me just see. I'm giving people a preview of the other pictures.
That's okay. Right there.
Is that this here? Okay.
Yes. I call it God's Soul Factory. But if you zoom in on this photo, you will see that this is the Giza Plateau, and that's Cairo. In the NASA photo, I've marked everything you can see in the NASA photo. If you watch the video, you'll be able to see all this stuff. As you see, there's the Garden of Eden, there's heaven, there's hell, there's the temple, there's the Nephilim, there's Noah's Ark, Jesus, everybody's there. So it's the kingdom of heaven. As a matter of fact, it's all contained in this one photo. Everything is contained in this one photo because this photo has 4 levels and 7 compartments. On the bottom compartment is a complete tour. There's 250,000 words of Hebrew written in here. When I took it to Israel, when I took it to Jerusalem, I showed the rabbis. They zoomed in, and one of them said, "Oh my God, Gary, that's a Torah." And I go, "What do you mean?" Because I didn't see it at first.
Right.
And they said, "Gary, that's part of the Torah." They started reading it. And I said, "Oh my God, you're right." See, because I can only see so much. I can't see everything. There's just too much to see. So they saw it and they freaked out. And they said, "Gary, this is impossible." And I said, "Well, why is it impossible?" And they said, "Well, because you're not Jewish." And I said, "Well, what does that have to do with anything?" I said, but to them, they said that I had to be Jewish. Then 2 of them, one guy started crying. One rabbi started crying. The other one said, "Gary, I'm not ready for this." He says, "I have a good life. I have grandchildren. I'm content with my life." I said, "Well, you know what, Rabbi? You have to get uncontented because this El and his kingdom have been on earth since July 26, 2012. He is going to reveal himself. This is what it all comes down to, Manny. El is going to reveal himself in Jerusalem on July 26, 2022, which actually coincides with this and with something that happened in the Cygnus constellation. In the Cygnus constellation, there was a supernova. The Cygnus constellation is 194,000 light years from Earth.
Okay.
Yeah, and what happens is if you guys, if you and your listeners, if they want to write this down. KIC. K is in kick, I is in ice, C is in cat. KIC dash 983-2227. That's KIC 983-2227. There was a supernova in the Cygnus constellation a long time ago. The light from the Cygnus constellation will hit Earth. We'll be able to see it with our naked eye. The sky will turn red, and that will happen in July of 2022. That is El's calling card. Once you see that, he's going to show up. And see, El doesn't want everybody to freak out. They're going to freak out anyway.
I'm freaking out just from the drawing.
Yeah. Well, what's going to happen is he's going to show up and he's going to prove up. That's what's going to happen. Because the rabbis said to me, I said, you got to remember something. The Orthodox Jews and the Jewish people, they go to the Western Wall. The Temple Mount. You know that, Manny? The Western Wall, where they daven, they rock back and forth, and they pray 3 times a day.
Right.
Most Jews pray 3 times a day, and they pray for God to come back, the Messiah to come back, and for the temple to be rebuilt. Because are you familiar with the first temple, second temple?
Yes, but here's a question for you: were the rabbis upset because El does not appear to be following a follower of the Jewish religion?
Oh no, it's all about the Jewish religion. As a matter of fact, the Jewish religion is right. Everybody else is wrong. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that Jesus isn't really important. The guy's extremely important.
Yeah, we
but
just lost half the audience. Thanks, Karen.
Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah,
Just
the
kidding.
thing is the thing that's really funny. The thing is Jesus is huge, but is he God? No. Is he El? No. Is he part of El? Absolutely. Does he have a lot to do with El? Absolutely. Jesus is all over this photo, and he's a big deal. But is he El? No. There's only
Right.
one El. The problem is this. A lot of Jews and Orthodox Jews believe that God is a spirit, which he is, because he's a fifth dimensional being. But he was also at one time, he had arms and legs and a head and shoulders, and he could walk and he could talk. But he is a fifth dimensional being. And yeah, so yes, so the Jews are right. But they had a problem. They had a problem with me showing them what El or God looks like. And they also had a problem with me not being Jewish. So I said, guys, he's going to show up. Get ready.
Yeah, get over it.
You got to get over it because, and is Jesus with him? Absolutely. Are they here now? Absolutely. They're totally here.
Yeah, that is a crazy story. And actually, at the time that we talked the first time, you hadn't made the trip over yet. You were still you were planning it, as a matter of fact.
Yes, what happened was I had a dream. El said to me, well, it might not be El. It might be one of the tens of thousands of beings that work for this guy. Because it's not just one guy that runs the whole deal. I mean, he runs the whole deal. He's the main guy. But he has hundreds of thousands of beings that work for him. So was it him talking to me? Probably not. But here's the deal. What was your question, Manny? I'm sorry. I went blank for a second.
No, I was just commenting on the fact that the rabbis were not too happy about it.
Yeah, and it just blows me away because, like I said, they pray 3 times a day for him to show up and for the third temple to show up. Now, as you know, the third temple, they always talk about building the third temple. The third temple is already built. It's in the photo. You'll be able to see it if you watch my video, and I explain how to see it. And you have to use a laptop computer. It doesn't work on a tablet. You have to use a laptop computer.
Yeah, and I'm with him in a way because I'm still looking at Al here thinking, oh shit, it's I'm being honest, and I'm not even looking at this from a religious perspective, to where like an Orthodox person does. I'm just looking at it like podcast host. What the hell's going on here?
Well, but the cool thing is when he comes back, first of all, it's going to terrify everybody. But these beings are millions and millions of years more advanced than we are. But there will be no more war, and there will be death, because it's going to take generations for what these beings have to do for us to evolve. But children's diseases, children's being born with cancer, having cancer or birth defects, that won't happen. That won't happen anymore. It's going to be mankind will go to that next step in evolution. This is our next step in evolution. When they show up, that's what will happen.
So that's quite a bit. So, but you still have more. This wasn't the end of it. This was.
Well, what happens is, if you want me, I'm sorry, Manny, I'm talking over you. I apologize.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
So what happens, guys, is when I'm in Jerusalem and I go and I say all these words I went to the what did I say? The Temple Mount, the Golden Gates. When I went over to the city of David and the Mount of Olives, and I said all these words. I said nothing happened. I didn't see anything happen because I thought, man, maybe an earthquake or something will happen. This has got to really be kind of cool. So what happens is nothing happened. So I go back to the hotel and I'm sleeping. I get a voice again. The voice is because naturally, when I'm down at the river, I went to the city of David 3 times, and I went to the Gihon Springs, and I said, "Are you going to show me anything?" I was really kind of pissed off because I'd been there for 25 days, and I figured something exciting was going to happen, not having 3 rabbis tell me they're not going to believe what they're saying. So, and they were too content with their lives; they didn't want to be bothered. So, what happens is I have a dream, and a voice says to me, "I'm going to show you." I'm going to show you Noah and Noah's Ark and the Nephilim. And I thought, oh my God, okay, I can't wait. Now, you remember, I was still in. That was after about 2 weeks in Jerusalem. So I thought, how is he going to show me Noah's Ark in Jerusalem? So it made no sense to me. So I went to all the museums and everything. Nothing happened. I get back to Phoenix. All of a sudden, I find Noah's Ark, and I find Noah in a place called Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. And Göbekli Tepe, did you want to go to that picture?
Oh, wrong way.
That's okay.
There you go.
There it is. Göbekli Tepe is a 13,000-year-old temple found in southern Turkey. And what it is they have these pillars, these giant pillars. And on the pillars are these wild, like birds and animals and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm looking at it, and I said, oh, my God. Now, you got to know, too, that Noah's Ark was not a boat. It didn't have a stern and a bow. It was a coracle boat, which is it was round. So do you see that round? Can you point that pointer to the round valley in front of Göbekli Tepe? Right there. That is where, now you got to remember, picture this place with nothing but water. All of a sudden, now you got to remember, too, that they say that the Noah's Ark was on Mount Ararat. Mount Ararat is actually 850 miles northeast of this location. So this giant round coracle boat lands here, right where that giant round thing is. Now, you remember, that wasn't there 14,000 years ago. That was water. So all of a sudden, the ark is there. All these beings come off, and it wasn't just Noah and his family. It was Noah, it was the Nephilim, and it was the animals, okay? And they landed there, and what happens was Noah and all these beings built Göbekli Tepe, and it was like a Noah signal. It was like an SOS signal. And what happened was, as a matter of fact, if you can go to my drawing of Noah's Ark, it would be great.
It's in here somewhere.
Okay, well, you just missed it. It was
back. Oh, did I really?
Back. You had it, yeah. Nope.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. One moment, please.
The drawing.
Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Nope, there it is.
Right there. That is Noah's Ark. Now, I'm going to show you that this is Noah's Ark. It was a giant round coracle boat. And this drawing is on pillar number 43 inside Göbekli Tepe. If you could go to that pillar.
So let's stop there for a second.
Go ahead.
So how did you get this picture here? How did you get this image?
Got the image from Göbekli Tepe, the pillar number 43.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. So this is from the actual.
Right there.
From this image.
Okay. This is pillar number 43 in Göbekli Tepe. Okay. And what this is you can see that the 3 baskets. The 3 baskets represent Noah and his family. And other humans, his friends and all those kind of people. The second basket is the Nephilim. And the third basket is the animals. Now, the thing, and you can see it kind of goes down into a point. And if you see, below the point is a circle. That circle is Earth. Do you see the big bird that has, with its wings spanned out like the left and the right? It almost looks like a huge vulture. The bird is in the shape of the Cygnus constellation. Okay, that's how the Cygnus constellation is shaped. That circle is Earth. Above that is Noah's Ark. And what it is that bird is El. They were not allowed to make El look like El, so they made him look like a bird. Okay, that's how they were not allowed to draw a guy with a huge alien head.
Right.
So what happens is that's a delicate balance of mankind, the Nephilim, and animals being balanced on Earth by El. That's El. And those other birds off to the right-hand side are minor gods. So in Göbekli Tepe, you'll see 2 you'll see two huge pillars surrounded by other smaller pillars that kind of look the same. They are lesser gods. They're the people. They're the beings that work for El. Okay, so what happens is I find this, and actually I go down to the river here, and there's a river called the Gila River, Gila, here in Arizona. Well, what's funny is the Gila River, Gila, in Hebrew, Gila means joy. And it also means, with a little bit of a different spelling, with a G-I, and L and an A, it also means uncovering or revealing. So when I went down to the river and I stood in the Gila River, it revealed all this stuff to me. Well, after it revealed El to me, and then El revealed all this other stuff to me. So anyway, so now what happens is as I was looking at the NASA photo, and like I said, using my laptop and tilting it and doing all that kind of stuff, I did the same thing with Göbekli Tepe. So I'm going to show your audience these photos and how they can actually see. Now, I'm sorry, guys, I'm stuttering, and I apologize.
You're excited about it. You're excited about it.
I get excited about it. What happens though is you gotta know that Göbekli Tepe, which is 13,000 years old, was built to be seen from space. And I'm going to prove that to you, and you're going to be able to see it. Now Göbekli Tepe now is, on that photo, they have rooftops on top of the sites, so you can't see it from space. But what happens is I found a satellite image from 2014 before the roofs were put on. Can you scroll through the pictures, Manny?
Which one are we looking at?
We're going to look at the one. It almost looks like clouds. It looks like clouds.
You know what? I don't have one like that.
You don't have that one?
No. Yeah, that's the last picture. I only got 8 pictures.
I said, because right with that, remember that the sculpture of the Nephilim? Can you go back to her?
Oh yeah, definitely. She's scary too. Can't we get any gods that are not scary? How about that?
Oh no, the Nephilims aren't gods. Nephilim, the Watchers. These are children of the Watchers and human women. Okay, so but this is a Nephilim that I found in the NASA photo. I sent it to a buddy of mine who's a sculptor, and he sculpted her, and this is what she looks like. So it's wild. It's really amazing. So she's in the photo. She's in the NASA photo, and she was a Nephilim. Now you got to remember that the Nephilim weren't all giants. In the NASA photo, it shows that a lot of them were not. Like I said, there were hundreds of thousands of Nephilim, and not all of them were giants. Some of them were half human, half alien. Some of them were tall, some of them were short, but a lot of them were kids. In the NASA photo, it shows that in Noah's Ark, that Noah and his family and a bunch of his friends and a lot of these Nephilim who were kids, they were kids. Noah didn't want them to drown, and you can see long lines of them going into the ark that I drew. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here's a question, Gary. So when you're saying a NASA photo, what was the photo of?
What do you mean? It was a photo I showed you. It was a photo that you pulled up, the very first one. It's a photo of the Giza Plateau in Cairo.
And this is where you saw this image?
Yeah.
Really?
And I have it marked on the poster that I made. Yeah. Let me tell you something. This is nothing compared to what's in there. Jesus is in there on the cross, and it's really painful looking. And also the Ark of the Covenant is there. As a matter of fact, the Ark of the Covenant and Golgotha is in the photo. Everything's in the photo. Jerusalem's in the photo. It's all in the photo. If you watch the video of me, you'll be able to see it. All it will take you guys is probably between a half hour to 45 minutes to be able to see it. But you have to follow my instructions. If you don't follow my instructions, you won't see it, and you have to put in a little time. But you have to follow my instructions to the letter. So that's a female. So yeah, some of them were very, very scary looking, believe me. And they're all in the NASA photo.
No, they are. There's no doubt about that.
I promise.
Yeah, because I could not. You imagine Noah and all the animals, and then you think, oh, he's traveling with this Nephilim in there? That's nuts. That's scary.
Well, no, I think it's, well, you got to remember something. Noah was not human. Noah was half human and half Nephilim. As a matter of fact, go to the picture that I drew, that I had drawn of Noah, please. Guys, like I was telling Manny earlier, there is a, right there, that's Noah. Now you might say, well, Gary, how do you know that's Noah? In the in the satellite image of Göbekli Tepe, without the roofs over top, what happened was I went to it, I zoomed out. First of all, I downloaded the photo, and Manny's going to, I'm pretty sure Manny's going to be able to download these photos onto his website, and maybe you guys can pull them up. But what happened was I went to the to the, like I said, to the photo, and I zoomed out to make it small, almost like you're looking at it from space, and I tilted I turned off all the lights, and I tilted my laptops back, and all of a sudden this face popped out of the main temple area. Now what it is if you know anything about Göbekli Tepe, they don't know what it is. Archaeologists don't know what it is, and they don't know why stones and it's built in a circle, in certain circles, and they don't know why certain stones are so high or why the pillars are in the place they are in. It's because Noah and these beings were sending a signal to El to get us the hell off this planet, because it was filled with water and they didn't want to be there. They were asking for forgiveness. So and the other thing too is only 10% of Göbekli Tepe has been unearthed. This was the first photo. That's Noah. You got to remember too that Noah was not human. Noah was half Nephilim. His father was a watcher. His mother was human. That's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. He had jet black hair. Well, I think when he was first born, he had red hair, but later on in life, it turned black, and his skin is snow white. In the photo, you'll see it. He's not human. He's part human. But what's great about Noah, and that you guys don't know, is he saved a lot of these half human, half aliens or Nephilim, and they were children. They didn't know why it was raining and why they were going to drown. When people think of the flood, they think, oh, the Nephilim were all giants and they ate people. Yeah, there were some of them, but a lot of them, tens of thousands, were children. And their parents, who were the watchers, didn't want those kids being drowned. It's in the NASA photo. I'm telling you guys, if you look at it, you'll be able to see everything I'm talking about. Especially the kids all lined up in the ark, Noah's Ark.
So Gary, what do you think? Do you think there are other folks like you who are receiving messages, similar messages, regarding July 26, 2022?
Yeah, I think there are. It's just, but do you remember that movie from the 70s? It was called with Richard Dreyfuss. What was it called? It was called Close Encounters.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, the third. No,
the third kind. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Right. Do you remember? Where like he was contacted, but then so were like 50 other people. But then a lot of them were afraid, or some of them made it all the way to the mountain, but then they couldn't get out of the helicopter because they were too afraid that they were going to get killed. Right. Well, I think that's what's been happening. I think that I've taken it because I think it's awesome. I love all this stuff. I can't wait for him to come back, because I can't wait for there not to be any more wars, okay? Because I'm tired of our veterans getting maimed and killed. I'm just tired of that. And I can't wait for us to go to that second level, where we can see things that fifth dimensional beings can see, and that we can evolve into something more advanced than what we are. But anyway, so what was your question, Manny? I'm sorry.
No, just wondering if there's got to be, El being the almighty El, that he would actually reach out to more than just, Gary. There's got to be other folks that are experiencing the same thing.
I'm sure
kind of like the backup plan.
Well, I'm sure I would like to think there are, but I haven't met anybody. Right. And I've gone down here to the. I've met with the what are those guys called? Oh man, don't tell me. A bunch of religious groups. Right. And when they see it, they see the Garden of Eden, like I show them the Garden of Eden in the NASA photo, and they see it and they just freak out and they go, "I'm not going to believe this." And I go, "Well, why not?" I said, this is a message. Well, no, because it's not in the Bible and this isn't the way it is. And I said to him, I said, how do you think Jesus is going to come to earth? How do you think Jesus is going to come to earth? And they say, on a cloud. And I said, think of it in our terms, in 2020 terms. Jesus did come down on an iCloud. That's exactly what he came down on. He's here. He's here. And so to answer your question, yes, I hope there's more people that that El is communicating with, because I'd hate like hell to think he would leave it all up to me, because I'm not that bright. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to take in. I can imagine, especially all these images that you're receiving.
Yeah.
But listen, I got Green Man. I also got Dave from Australia who are on here. And
Australia, that's awesome.
Yeah, what do you guys think about L?
It's interesting. A couple. One of the things I always thought that Noah was Enoch's son.
And well, Enoch, he was actually Noah was Enoch was Noah's great grandfather. Yeah, okay. It was his great grandfather. Methuselah was his grandfather, and his dad's name was oh geez, I can't remember. But yeah, Enoch was Noah's great grandfather.
Yeah, he came before.
Yeah, way before.
Gary, we got a question from GameVit in the YouTube chat right now, and he says, what do you think about UFOs and how do they relate to our history?
Well, I've always believed in UFOs. I mean, ever since back when I think I was 11 or 10, and I read Chariots of the Gods. Absolutely, Eric von Daniken hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely, these are aliens. This is what they are, and they're millions and millions of years more advanced than us, and they can travel in and out of dimensions. That whole NASA photo, like I said, it has 4 levels and 7 compartments, and each level is a dimension. So yeah, do I believe in string theory? Absolutely. Do I believe in UFOs? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a lot to take in, to be honest, Gary.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It is really deep. It goes really deep.
Yeah, it is.
So here's a question for you. So everything that we see today, when it comes to things like UFOs, advanced technology, all that kind of stuff, how does that relate at all to what basically is the end game for L, July 26, 2022? Does all of that all correlate together, or is that separate entities that are, I guess, lack of a better word, interfering?
You mean the other alien races?
Right.
Everybody works for L. They're the most advanced in the universe. These are the main people. These are people that create planets. These are the beings that start everything. But how did they start? I have no idea. Where do they get all the souls that they use in all the different planets that they manage? They manage thousands of planets. Because I asked him, actually. Now, I told you once before, Manny, one time in 2017, as a matter of fact, July 26, 2017, I went down to the river. The voice told me to go down to the river. I went to the river. I said the words. All of a sudden, crystals appeared in the sky. A platform appeared. The same thing as what's his name? The prophet. What was his name? With the spinning wheels and the 2 cherubim with the 6 set of wings.
Ezekiel.
There you go. Thank you. Same thing happened to me. El shows up with these two what are they called? Cherubim, which are actually angels that have 4-sided faces. They have a human face, a lion face, and a raven face or an eagle face, and an ogre face, and they all showed up. When I say they showed up, like I said, it happened out at maybe 100 feet out into the lake or the river that I was on, and El and the rest, they did not look solid. They looked like a projection, and El allowed me to ask some questions. I asked him. He told me what was going to happen, and I said, fantastic, about July 26, 2022. And so, yeah. I don't. I totally forgot what your question was.
Yeah.
But yes, he told me what was going to happen, and I said, "This is great." And I said, but I told him again, I won't hurt anybody, and I hope that all this is positive. And naturally, it's going to be scary. It's totally going to be scary, but hopefully, if people really look at the photo and take an hour out of your life, look at it, keep looking at it, you'll see the things that and Manny, if you can send them that poster, if you can download that poster that I put, so they know where to look, it would be great. So
Yeah, we'll download it. We'll download it into
good.
the Facebook pages and things like that. So, when was the last time that you received a message from L?
Oh God! You know what, Manny? In Jerusalem, when he told me he was going to show. Now I say, and like again, I don't know if it's L because I don't know his voice, but it's a guy's voice. It's a man's voice. And when in Jerusalem, when they said, "I'm going to show you Noah and Noah's Ark," and I had no idea what that meant until I was watching the special in Göbekli Tepe, and all of a sudden I could see things that other people probably couldn't see, and I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "That's the core." What do I call it? The coracle boat. It was big and round, which is from cuneiform, from what's it called? Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry, Manny.
It's okay.
The ark, like I said, was a huge coracle boat because I had read a book by a guy named Fink, who is he's the biggest translator in England of cuneiform, and I read his book, and he had said he had made an ark that was round, and I looked at it, and all of a sudden I looked in the NASA photo and I saw the ark. I said, "Oh my God, that's the same ark that this Professor Fink at the British Museum made," and I could see it on the NASA photo plain as day, just like it was on pillar number 43 at Göbekli Tepe. So so it all came together. So
we have another question from the guys in the YouTube. Dre wants to know how many of their planets like ours. I guess how many planets has L or have you ever received any messages regarding other civilizations that are similar to ours? Right?
No,
I don't think you've ever said that. No,
but in the NASA photo you can see. And like I said, guys, it does take time. You do have to take your time to look at it, but you can see all different kinds of beings. Now, I haven't seen any grays with the big fat eyes, but I am telling you, like the cherubim and other beings, they all have. Some have 3 faces, some have 4 faces, some have 2 faces, and they are all different. And like the Nephilim, like the Watchers, they're not human, and they all work for the big guy. So and actually in the photo you can see that L has a God head. You know how in the Christian or Catholicism they have the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Well, they only have 3. In the photo, he has about 40, not 3. He has like maybe not 40, maybe 25, 30 heads, all combined into his face. And smile. Like when he showed up at when he showed up at the Gila River over here in Florence, Arizona, I could see in his face were other faces, but they were human faces, and it kept changing, almost like circular. So in his face were all these faces, and they were all talking at the same time. And they weren't speaking English; they were speaking like in Hebrew. I do know Hebrew, but they were also using other languages. I don't know Aramaic or anything like that. But yes, so that when they talk about the Trinity, God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, in the photo, there's a lot more than 3. So, and there's men and women. There's not just men. So,
yeah, it's completely wild. It sounds like Dave is in the Australian jungle, in the outback right now.
It does.
Do you hear those birds or monkeys? I don't know what it is.
Birds.
Yeah. So in looking at L, yeah, it definitely looks alien. There's no doubt about that. He reminds me of Thanos. Like he's gonna come here and get rid of half the planet.
That's
but
Thanos. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was one thing you said, that there's not going to be any war, but you're like, there will be death.
Well, yeah, we'll die. Naturally, we'll die. Yeah, it's
okay. Well, it almost sounded like, there was like, oh yeah, shit's gonna go down and people are gonna die, but
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound like that. I meant to say that there will still be death. Like, we'll get older, we'll die. I call the thing that L does, and with the temple and with everything else, our souls recycle. It's like a huge factory for souls, and it constantly recycles, and that's the way it is, and no energy is ever lost. Like guys like Hitler, guys like that, yeah, they go to hell. It's a horrible place. It's in the photo, but most of us, we get recycled. We don't get to stay in heaven. You don't get to hang out with Jesus. You move on. You move on to either other planets or to other levels, or back to Earth. So, yeah.
So Gary,
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Gary, what happens to you now from now to July 26, 2022? Well, what are your plans? Are you expecting to receive more messages? What's coming from L, or do you think it'll just be quiet from now on?
No, I'm hoping that everybody who hears, I've been on about 60 of these shows, maybe 64. And I have people email me all the time saying, "Hey, I see this and I see that." I'm hoping that people see it, and I'm hoping it gets more and more intense. So everybody gets to see them. They say, "Oh my God, what's going to go on?" And I hope they contact me, but I don't know if they will, because I don't have a handbook. I wish I had a handbook. You know what I mean? But it is going to be. I'm hoping it gets more and more intense. And by intense, I hope I learn more and I get to share it with you guys, or I hope they share it with everybody on their own. And by standing in the water and saying those words that I told you and your listeners to say, that will open up a part of your brain so you'll be able to see everything in that NASA photo and see everything that I see. But you have to give it a shot. You can't be a wimp.
Yeah, I think we're going to sign up Dave to do that in Australia, and we'll just watch him live. Dave, are you down for that? You can go into one of those wonderful outback rivers, and we'll watch you live.
What, just roaming around doing nothing?
Yeah. We'll catch up to him later because he's enjoying wherever he's at. Yeah, I just sometimes I see when we have things like this that come about, I see things like cults forming and stuff like that. Do you think this will become like some kind of a cult in the next year or so?
I hope not. And if they want me to be part of it, I won't be part of it. I don't belong to any organized religion. I just don't do that. I never have. When I was a kid, I was raised Episcopalian, but then I haven't been to a church, or I had to go to a couple temples in order to meet with the rabbis, and I had to go to a couple churches up here in Phoenix to meet with some bishops and some other people, and all they ended up doing was crying. They said it was the end of the world. So, and I told them it's not the end of the world, but they didn't believe me. But no, if cults, no. Me? No. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't write books. I don't do videos. I do everything. Everything I have is free. So I'm not going to ask anybody to pay for any of this. And I also invite people to come down here to Florence, Arizona, if they want to meet me and go stand in the river and experience some of the things I've experienced. So.
Well, there you go. I guess now we nominate Green Man to go over there. He's the closest to you.
But if you guys have a river wherever you are, give it a shot. It's not the worst case scenario is you're going to get your feet a little wet, maybe a little muddy. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think people should try it. I mean, what are you going to lose? What are you going to lose? Might as well do it and see what happens. So Gary, where can they reach out to you if they have any questions after this particular episode?
Yeah, you guys, I have an email address. You can always email me at G as in Gary, G.Parker, Parker, 36Gary, Gary, at AOL.com. That was G.Parker, 36Gary at AOL.com. Did I say that right? Was that the same thing? G.Parker, Parker, 36Gary, Gary at AOL.com.
Well, there you go, folks. If you want to reach out to Gary and get more info, and by the way, Gary, how do they find you on YouTube so they can see the video?
Oh, all you have to do is you just have to, I can always send you the link if you email me, but you can also, like I said, just Google how to see God, the Garden of Eden, and the Third Temple with Gary Parker. And that will show you how to see everything in the NASA photo.
Fantastic, Gary. And listen, Gary, thank you so much for showing up. Hopefully, we'll be ready. I'm gonna put this on my calendar, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I see Al, I'm running the other way because he's pretty scary.
But you know what, Manny, you're in San Antonio. You have to go to. There's plenty of rivers there. You have to go to a river, give it a shot. Because all these people say, "Oh, if I met an alien, I do this, I do." Well, here's your chance.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're good. Trust me when I tell you, El will communicate with you. He will. I actually told that to the rabbis and actually to a couple professors of Egyptology in Egypt. I said, I'm going down to the Nile River. I'm going to say these words. Come down with me. They would not do it. They would not. I said, why not? I said, every time you hear anything about the Bible or Jesus, they're always in water, getting baptized. Or, yeah, it's always connected to the earth, So, so anyway, Manny, you got to give it a shot. Don't be a wimp, man.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just saying, in July of 2022, that's when the shit's going to hit the fan. But, yeah.
Listen,
thank you thank you for coming in and joining us again, Gary. But listen, if you get an update from El, come back and let us know what he says.
I will.
Or is it a she? Or maybe it's
a he. It's a male.
It's a he. All right.
But you know what though? But in Göbekli Tepe, they found huge sculptures of things that look like El, and he's male and female. So
there you go.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. He was, when I saw him, he looked male to me. So
time finding a bathroom.
Yeah. Well, these days, right?
But if you guys really want to try to communicate with, you got to use nature, and you got to use the words I told you to use.
Fantastic. As a matter of fact, if anybody does it, we're going to let you know. We'll email you and see what pictures they get too, because that's the other part. We got to catch some video or pictures.
We'll catch it. Yeah, look at the videos, and I can send. I send pictures to people all the time, and a lot of them see it, and it does frighten people a little bit. It really does. I understand it's going to be frightening.
Yeah, it is.
It's exciting too. And if you ever get to Jerusalem, go down to the city of David, Gihon Springs, stand in the water, say the words. You'll really be connected. Believe me, it will open up a part of your brain you never knew you had.
Fantastic. Gary, thank you for showing on the podcast.
Thank you, sir.
We will stay in touch.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thanks, gang.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, same here.
Good show.
Thank you, brother. All right, you guys have fun.
And there you go, folks. That was Gary Parker sharing some amazing information. Green Man, I'm going to vote for you to be the one to meet up with Gary in Arizona and get the chant on.
I'll give it a
Certainly
shot.
interesting.
I got rivers here in San Diego. I don't, I just need to remember the magic words, the Klaatu Vrata Nikto.
Great.
Just don't join the new cult.
I'm not doing it. He called,
it was his story evolved a lot since the last time he was on. So, like I said, it's about 300 episodes ago. So, yeah, he actually made it out there. So, good for him. Whatever it is that's drawing him to this, it's amazing. It's amazing. It looks like Dre is looking for a link, like right now. Let me send him a link, and you guys talk amongst yourself for a second.
No, I'm being attacked by a fucking
you guys you don't have to say nothing, I guess. Talk about NASA's ISS toilet. There you go. That's a good one.
Oh, the $23 million toilet. I still think they could have thought of something cheaper. It's a couple old Kirby's and some, a couple old Kirby's and some fucking Ziploc baggies, man. Come on. All you need is suction.
As long as you're a physicist, you'll be right. You'll be able to work it out.
Oh, well, yeah. And still, 23 million for a toilet.
All right, he's got the link. Yeah, that toilet was crazy, and the area which you put your bum does not look like it's.
That doesn't look comfortable.
No, does not look good at all. Looks pretty scary and nasty, and it really looks like it's a probing. That's what it looks like. By
I
the way,
wonder who owns this
Hey.
football.
from Corpus Christi, if you will.
What's up, Dre?
How's it going, guys?
That's got a.
So, Dre,
Sort of.
did you have something to say, like really important to us?
No, I was just I wanted to hear the magic words I had to say in the river.
Oh, well, dang. You're too late for that. You didn't even make it on time.
I know. Davina was feeling sick, so I had to be doctor.
The good thing is you can rewind it,
Yeah.
and you can actually hear it
Yeah.
again 3 times. Actually, you might be able to go into the river and replay the podcast, and it'll just happen for you.
Yeah, the first one was L. I remember that one. The second one started with a K, and then it was
Oh, hold on, fellas.
Hey,
We've got a
Nay
problem.
or
Hold on.
something like that.
We've got a problem. Hold on.
Is this yours?
Oh shit!
Yeah, we got trouble now. Ladies
Take
and
my-
gentlemen,
Where the fuck did you get these guys, Manny? What
hold
the
on a
fuck?
second. We gotta freaking introduce you. That way people know it's Joshua Dynamite from the No Big Deal
Captain
I don't
podcast.
even know how you lasted that long not getting on.
I don't. Here's the thing. No, go ahead. Just tell me what you got to say.
I just said, where the fuck did you find that guy at?
Listen, Gary's been
I know,
around. He
Josh,
makes
you
the
were
rounds on
dying.
podcast. Yeah.
I've got to think about it. Certainly interesting. I mean, I wouldn't exactly agree with a lot of what was being said. But
You like the
certainly interesting.
Enoch thing and the black hair and the red-headed Noah? That one?
Though, yeah, totally thrown off.
Honestly, that Nephilim statue kind of looked like a sea monkey. Remember the old comic ads and the the little cartoon figures that they used to draw for the sea monkeys? It kind of looks like one of those.
Yeah, scary as hell.
It looks like the poster of Stephen Avery when they were looking for him for rape.
Okay. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up, Green Man?
How you doing, man?
Oh man, I've just been missing you.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. So cute.
Hey, where'd
At least
that
both
other
of
guy
you in
go?
California.
About me.
Where'd that other guy go that had an aneurysm the last time I was on the show?
That's a lot of guys. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Which one?
That was
The one
Norm.
the one that I pissed off by telling him we didn't go to the moon.
No, it was
you-
Norm. He wasn't.
That was Norm.
Is he all right?
He's fine. Norm's spry.
Yeah.
That's what when I see him, I think of spry. First word that comes to mind.
Oh gosh. So, by the way, Joshua, what have you been up to? Yeah, I saw you release a recent podcast episode.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, Sunday we're getting ready to do the 1-year anniversary. Well, it's actually the 5-year anniversary, but we rebooted the whole show, and so I'm gonna have literally like probably 12 different people. I've still been looking into the West Memphis 3 murders, and just doing a lot of writing for the Christmas episode. I'm doing a whole cartoon. Writing a cartoon for Christmas, and it will be PG-13ish. So yeah, I can't wait for that. But yeah, no, man, just been working and hanging out. What about you?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. The No Big Deal podcast cartoon?
It's going to be the first animated cartoon that I've ever done. Yeah, but it's going to be about the donkeys that the wise men rode on, and it's going to be their story.
It's gonna be their story. Huh?
Yeah, nobody's ever told their story that they had to carry those fat ass wise men all that way.
And it's gonna be PG-13.
I thought they rode it on camels.
Well, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it just depends what part of Arabia you're from, which animal you fuck, really. Camels, donkeys. I'm not sure. I think Joseph.
There goes Christmas.
Wasn't it Joseph? His wife was a virgin, right? Mary. So he fucked that donkey in the manger.
Yeah. This is where the show goes south. Like you guys were thinking it was bad when we were talking about alien gods, but no.
What? Just because Joseph wanted to get some? I mean, Mary sounded like she was a prude, kind of. Who has a baby that's never had sex? That's like the biggest slut I've ever heard of.
Jeez Louise, here we go. There goes the other half of the audience. Thank you very much.
You take this, Christianity.
I'm just fucking
We just lost Sweden.
sweet.
Oh, no, it's done.
As long as we didn't lose Jerusalem, we're good.
Yeah, the Vatican's hacking in right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
But anyway, that sounds exciting. So, do you guys? Maybe we could have like Green Man or Dave do some voiceovers for you.
hey, you know what? I'm looking for a couple voiceovers. My buddy with the lisp is going to be really good in this.
Oh, that's a great donkey.
Gonna put him to use. Yeah, it shows. So it's gonna be. It's the first like cartoon I'm writing the whole thing, and then I'm working with a cartoonist, and so that'll be interesting. I've never done it before. Kind of like sex. Well, when I wasn't blindfolded and gagged.
Right. Easy pegging. So yeah, that's.
Hey, did you see my new microphone? I got the Rush Limbaugh microphone.
Yeah, I did see the picture. I told you it's advanced technology for pegging.
I had
Dave,
over 40
where are you?
messages telling me nice vibrator.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, I get no respect in the media world anymore because I talk about getting ass fucked a lot.
Yeah, that's I could put up a bit of a block to respect.
Why didn't you ask that guy if he had ever been probed?
You know, I don't think his angle is about probing, to be honest. He's
Nobody's is, but everybody kind of flirts with it.
well,
Like, look at Green Man right now. Who knows what he's sitting on?
yeah.
A chair.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
A
that's
stool
fair.
upside down.
Chair.
This is the Friday Freakout with
Was it?
well, hold on a second. Wait, who are you talking to over there, Joshua? We're trying to run a show here.
It's my my handicapped buddy that I watch on the weekends.
Oh,
His parents pay me $50 a day.
really?
No, but yeah, he works with me. He works with me on the podcast and smokes a lot of my weed.
Oh, tell him to come on the show. Let's find out what's his. Is he going to have a role in the Christmas show?
Probably somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? He only like gets out of bed like twice a week.
Really?
Yeah, he's got really major issues. And the other day he was telling me that he pushed his wiener all the way so far inside himself he pissed out his butt.
That takes a lot of talent.
Yeah, I don't know. No, yeah, he's gonna voice one of the donkeys. He's the one with the lisp. He's got a really bad speech impediment. They used to take him to those retard trailers all the time to test him.
Nice. So he passed with flying colors. I think.
God,
Well, anyway, Joshua, thank you for enlightening us and bringing us that great information.
Fuck that.
That just beats the whole hour and
Good.
10 minutes that we listened to about all this stuff in the pyramids. You just killed it.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Anytime you need me to ruin your show, I'll do it.
No, but anyway, yeah. Listen, I look forward to seeing your Christmas creation. That'll be fantastic.
Hey, it should be pretty fun. We'll see. You know, I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to turn out. Like I assume that. I don't know. I'm really curious to do it because I've written a lot of stuff before, but I've never written for a cartoon, and I've never animated any kind of cartoon. So I think like if the anime guys can do it, I can do it. But who knows? Probably not. I'll probably fail miserably, but I'm willing to try that.
Well, either way, just let us know. If it looks good, or if it looks bad, we'll still watch it.
It'll probably be really bad, no doubt.
You never know. Hey, listen,
just
guys.
don't hump the donkeys.
Oh yeah, no pegging. There was no pegging the donkey.
Well, I mean, I can't promise.
Well, you said it was going to be like PG rated, man. I think that'll get you out of that rating pretty quick.
No, PG-13 ish.
Ish.
Because I think that you're allowed to maybe mouth kiss the donkey, but I don't know. Well, I'll check the ratings.
I think Dave's like, what the hell did he just say?
Mouth kiss.
Yeah.
Just the first date. It's okay.
Oh my God! Like you've never kissed
Yeah,
a
just
chick
for the
before and
date.
go, "Oh my God, did you see me fucking mouth kiss that donkey?" I've mouth kissed a lot of like proverbial donkeys.
A lot of mammals. Yeah, I get it. It happens.
Dude, my buddy that's sitting over here one time, like some like 500-pound like Alaskan chick like offered to have sex with him, and he said by the slimmest of margins he declined. But she was like 6'5", 450 pounds.
So how did he get away?
I don't know. I think he threw some salmon in one direction and ran.
Oh my God, it's too much. All right, guys. This definitely will be the end of the podcast. Thanks a lot, Joshua, for enlightening our I don't even know. I can't even. All
right, I'm out of here.
I'm lost. All right, guys. Perfect time to end the podcast, to be honest. The YouTube episode here. Yeah. I hope Al isn't listening. Can see if he was, we're totally fucked in July of 20.
All right. It'll be fine, lad.
July of what? 25?
2020.
July 26?
Or 2022. No, yeah, July 26, 2022 is when he said. So
I got to rewind. I got to listen to him.
Yeah, you got to listen to it because that's when L's going to be here. But get ready for it.
I definitely need to listen to it again.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, thank you for joining.
Thank you, Manny.
Sorry so late.
It's been fun.
Yeah, no kidding. Ciao.
Catch us later.
Bye.
So Indy, yeah. So Indy, yeah. Go and try your luck. Test me in again, we let it rain. Please don't start us up. Got that black and white, that yin and yang. Mr. Officer, please don't search us, we don't got a thing. Tell her park it up. Then that be poking out them jeans. I've been sparking up. Like the fireworks, I keep the flame. Heard you barking up. It's the wrong tree, I got the strings. Yeah, I'm charging up. They can't keep up, got them looking drained. Now they walking up. Trying to put the face to the name. Pull up and and I'm swerving. If a try to holler, she gon' curve him. We came from under buzz like a Persian. We been staying in our lane, ain't no merging. Rapping like I'm turban. Yeah, these all square like Irvin. Yeah, we grew up in the hood, no Suburbans. If I say I need my money, then it's urgent. Yeah, they want me to quit. Yeah, they want me to shift. But as long as I'm alive, we gon' keep on making hits. While they steady shooting bricks, man, it's lit. Yeah, it's lit. Me and Dale back to back, and yeah, I'm dishing the assist. Yeah, they talk a lot of, but we really with the lame. Always gonna be reaching for they hit, smoking like a clip. They can never catch me slipping. Every time your girl around, she be watch the way I'm dripping. Try your luck, test me in again, we let it rain. Please don't start us up. Got that black and white, that yin and yang. Mr. Officer, please don't search us, we don't got a thing. Tell her park it up, then that be poking out them jeans. I've been sparking up like the fireworks. I keep the flame. Heard you barking up. It's the wrong tree, I got the strings. Yeah, I'm charging up. They can't keep up, got them looking drained. Now they walking up, trying to put the face to the name. I'm in flex mode with the best though. That's a major key, that's a chess move. I'm your favorite G, I think it's best. Yo. Stop with all the grilling, I'm on jet fuel. Taking off, clear the runway, now they cannot clip my wings. Yeah, they soft, they ain't homie, they ain't even on the scene. Play it smart, they don't know me, they just know what they see. What it costs to get flea, but this style it ain't free. It's that swag, just that splash, one wrong move, that's do the dash, keep a stat, just in case they tryna flash. Never lag, we don't slack, tell her I was running back. I don't brag, I'm relaxed, I'm not into all of that, yeah. It's really just the fam and my dogs, I just gotta make a call. I ain't into all that chatting, not at all. Yeah, I put that on the squad, we been out here going hard. We on deck, please don't make 'em. Go and try your luck, test me me in again, we let it